KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of black talk radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless, and TGIF and Ola Hotep, what's up? I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing every day is giving thanks and giving praises and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's crack this mic. Let's get it going. I'm Dominique DiPrima. You know that. This is a Friday. A Freedman Friday is what we call it, because every Friday, hour 2, we have an in-depth reparations conversation. We are determined to keep the momentum going, keep educating ourselves, and be part of the manifestation of the repayment of a debt that is owed to us. Today, we'll be talking with Kevin Powell, a different perspective on reparations, and he's got a new movie and a lot of stuff to talk about. Hour 3, we typically, well, there's no typical. On Friday, hour 3 is what it is. And today, hip-hop artivist Maya Jupiter is joining me in studio, so that's going to be a great, fun, and amazing way to end my week around here and start your Friday. But it is every other Friday. The homegirl is in the building. She is an activist, a labor scholar, activist, contributor to KBLA, a mama. Sherri Bell, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA fam.
Yes, we're both looking like springtime this morning, if you want to see that.
Not the only time of year I can get away with this color.
No, you could get away with it anytime. You look beautiful. If you want to tap in, we're on YouTube streaming right now at KBLA 1580. And yeah, we got our spring colors on. It's wishful thinking because it's been kind of cold in LA lately.
It's been like a June gloom in April.
And you know what I find? That usually means we're going to have a super hot summer.
No, stay away. No.
It means we're going to be in the triple digits in the Valley.
Please.
Yeah, sorry. So we do have a lot to talk about. And you know, I can't resist asking you, as one of my friends and contributors, and Miles, we were talking about this yesterday with Shannon Sharp, and then boom, he stepped down from ESPN temporarily. I don't know. There's so many issues around this particular, and I know it's kind of LA because everything is LA when it comes to entertainment. But, you know, the issue of, should he step down? If he's saying it's a shakedown and none of it is true, should he be stepping down? There's the issue of now everybody's on Instagram and on socials, on TikTok, opining about whether there should be people who date people younger than they are, whether there should be age gaps in relationships. Then there's another conversation which seems to be saying that people over 50 should go, and stop having sex and go off somewhere and smoke a pipe and watch TV and be old.
That's crazy.
I take offense to that. Okay, not this girl over 50, baby. And then there's always the conversation about the attacks on black men, and when black men reach a certain level, then they have to be brought down by Hollywood or by the system. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few. Mm-hmm. Those are the main threads that I see.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I think that it's like it's a lot. It's. I don't know if this was not messy enough for him to like keep staying there, right? It's like it's so messy. I don't know if him like not stepping down would have been like a good decision, right? Because and then it's also like, is it the fact that when people get more money, more power, more influence, that they get a little sloppy, right? Like it's like a drug, right? And you stop being as careful for some people, right? And definitely you are a target, but it's like sometimes when people get a lot of resources, they don't know what to do with themselves, and they just seek nefarious things to fill maybe some voids in their life. I don't want to get too deep, but I just know it looks horrible, because not only is it a dynamic of the age gap, that's not the thing. It's the type of person that he sought out.
That's the other thread I forgot. Should you be messing with OnlyFans models? No, you
should not.
She said that so quick.
I mean, he been warned by Cat the Prophet. On his show, he's been warned by Monique and all these people to stay away and watch your back. And, it's like if you're going to mess with a person who's in that, their job is there to make money. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's their job. That's their business. And if you're going to engage in a business thing, then maybe you should sign some NDA. Now, rape is different, but it's just like you are putting yourself in a very vulnerable position. That's not Raya, right? That's not the dating app for celebrities. Okay, that is a whole nother.
Yeah, maybe some people think it is. I thought Instagram was the dating app for celebrities. Let me just go in your DMs.
The optics look bad.
And you got a good point because, two things. Number one, if she would have been an OnlyFans model, they call them models, whatever they are, an OnlyFans worker, and she would have been 50, and still everything else is the same.
Yeah, you're right.
Is he in a better position? If she's an OnlyFans model and she's 20 and she's black, is it different?
You know what? It wouldn't have been as bad. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
I think the race dynamic does have something to do with it, and the fact that she looks like a 15-year-old is horrible.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Like that. Now that is the worst thing about it. I think the way that she looks so young, and the type of services that he sought is like
services.
It just makes it look so cheap, and like I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked, and it's not good. Like the first thing I seen when I heard the tape, and then I was like, man, his career is over. That's the first thing I was thinking.
Really, yeah. Tanya in the YouTube chat said, "So sad, self-inflicted, messy. Learn from the past. He's not the first." When you talk about the Prophet Cat Williams, what was he saying? He was talking about white women. He said, I think they're just as good as any other women, but I'm scared of them.
They could take you down in 2 weekends, he said.
Yeah. Does the name Emmett Till mean anything to you? And even though that's not the blatant thread, that's not the blatant thing that we're talking about, it's always the subtext, right? It's always there. We can pretend it's not, but it's always there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's been. I think he has kids with a white woman, but
okay,
yeah, it's like the trophy. Like I'm gonna do something that I couldn't do when I was poor, or those types of dynamics. But it's just that she's too young, bro. That's one thing. That's a red flag.
So, do you think that I always said I'm not a cougar, but as as time goes by and you meet people and you talk, I don't know. I can't say that I think it's wrong for people to date an older person or a younger person. I don't have a problem with it. I think there's a double standard. I think, they get on Tracy Ellis Ross well, now they're getting on Shannon Sharp too, but I don't think if she would be like down with it and just rolling around in his whatever he drives.
Yeah.
People probably wouldn't even be tripping.
Right. If they were like working class people, it wouldn't matter.
Or even if he was rich and she was with it.
Right. Taking away those dynamics. But those dynamics you can't ignore. And you know, and it's just like, it's like you could just see it's like his fetish personified. Like,
well, would you ever date someone older or younger than you?
I have.
Okay.
But not younger. Well, like too much younger. But the problem with this is, number one, we don't know if it was the people saying it was a setup, right? People, saying that, all these different things. But at the same time, he said
Melania Trump is 54 years old.
Okay.
Donald Trump is 78 years old.
Right.
Or 79, or however, I think 79. So that's a 25-year gap. And nobody seems to care about that. Is it because they're both old, or is it because they're married and she's not at the moment in OnlyFans?
I think that he was just, you could see, and it oozes that he was taking advantage of his power in the relationship.
You're talking about
yes,
Sharp.
It's different when there's like a dynamic, and you could tell when somebody like, oh, I'm just attracted to younger people, when somebody just is like a predator and seeks out younger people because they want to have the upper hand. Because like you always think about like sometimes like, what do they want with this person?
I mean, would Melania have dated Trump
no way.
If he wasn't rich? So that power dynamic, I think, is often there in those older, younger relationships when one party is very wealthy.
Yep.
Would I don't know Cher's boyfriend's name, but would he be dating her if she wasn't rich and or super famous?
No way.
I don't know. Maybe. My mom was in one of those relationships. Her later husband was way younger than she was.
Right.
And they actually, Alexander Edwards, that's his name. That's Amber Rose's baby daddy. One of them. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to correct something from yesterday, Miles. What did I say? I said, what rap artist were we? Oh, DMX. I said he had 3 kids, and you were like, 3? It turns out he has 15.
Whoa.
He had 3 with the wife.
Oh, wow.
And then another 12 in situationship.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, but
they're younger, too. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, anyway, I meant to correct that. But yeah, I mean, okay, they have a 40-year age gap.
Who?
Alexander Edwards and Cher.
Well, Cher has always been Cher. Like she's been like that since the beginning, and
But also she's sexy. I mean, she's whatever. She's 70 or whatever she is, but she's looking good. She looks better than some people in their 40s.
Right. And a lot of the times the people that she dealt with were also like of status.
Right.
So it wasn't like a different like in the wealth so much. But with this, I do think, money has something to do with it. Money and status, right? And like we know the stories throughout history, and a lot of these celebrities do get caught up and trustworthy of people who are not really into them for them. They're really in for it for the almighty dollar.
Yeah, and you said something at the beginning of the conversation, which I really think makes sense. When people get power and money, sometimes it seems like it's harder for them to get a thrill. They start doing weirder and weirder stuff because they can have anything.
Right.
If you can have any food in the world, what's appetizing?
Right. And that's what I'm surprised, because it seems like I'm thinking he has some type of structure in his upbringing with his matriarchs in the family. I don't know where those people are now in like monitoring the types of decision he makes, like where his handlers like should
he a grown up man.
You're right.
How is he gonna have? What is his mom really gonna do at that point? And also, a lot of times people who grow up with a lot of structure, a lot of the super religious people, who are, I'm not talking about spiritual, I'm talking about religious.
Probably rebel.
Yeah, you see those freaky Republicans are always the ones that are the most laced up. They're, they've been raised with so much structure. They're on the down low, or instead of just living their best life, or they're doing all kind of stuff because it's probably freaky to rebel against the structure that I don't know. I didn't grow up like that. My mom is a beatnik poet, with, 5 kids and 4 baby daddies. So
Right.
I didn't have to rebel against all that.
But yeah, but we could see it. I just wonder what he learned from it. I mean, he's still here. He still has some money. She turned down $10 million. She got this
because she
annoying,
won 50. Because she won 50. That's what they're suing for.
and then she got this annoying Tony Busby. I hope Jay-Z get him for all he got.
Tony Busby is her lawyer.
Right.
That's the one that went after Jay-Z. He's
Yes.
got a couple of other sleazy cases too. Oh, did he? He's one of the he's a guy that has I don't know, a huge number. I can't remember, more than a dozen Diddy accusers are
Right.
under this dude. So
He,
apparently that's what he does. Okay. 800-920-1580. We don't have to just talk about this, but I
Right.
had to ask you your thoughts. Molly Bell says, what numbers are older? What time are we talking about? I've dated younger. I've dated older. They were the lucky ones. I look good.
hello.
I agree with you, Molly Bell.
Mm-hmm.
800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in on this and other things. We got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality because this is it. Every day, you wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining where you're praying for a miracle and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've struggled to lose weight in the past, this important message is for you because you could lose as much as 50 pounds or more with Zelfie. Zelfie makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelfie providers can prescribe FDA-approved GLP-1 weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others. Plus, help get the medication covered by insurance so it's as little as $0 a month.
The doctors are super helpful, and the meds have been a game changer. It's the first program I've had success with.
Before Zelfie, I was unable to lose weight, even though I was eating healthy and exercising 6 days a week. Zelfie helped me not only lose weight, but I feel so much better.
Text GOAL to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy or Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text GOAL to 200-300. That's GOAL to 200-300. GOAL to 200-300.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
It's like a train wreck. We can't look away. We don't do a lot of gossip, but I think there's many different issues here.
Mm-hmm.
Miles, did you want to say anything? Because yesterday we were talking about this, and you were saying he might lose his $100 million deal with ESPN.
Yeah, that's they owned by Disney. They don't play around. I think that this is all a chance for you to step away before we have to make you step away. Is what it felt like.
That's a lot of money.
Lot of money.
That's
whole
a
lot of
money.
But I do feel like, though, if he does come out on the other side unscathed, I think he gets it back. I think he can restore what he was, in the process of building.
I mean, and even if he didn't, people are still going to watch the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Thank goodness for YouTube, right? Because, yeah.
Do you think it would have been different if she was a black woman?
Well, yeah. Well, I was just saying this with my homie yesterday who was talking about it. I feel like, we talk about superpowers, Dominique, off the air. White woman's tears are their superpowers.
Yeah.
And a black woman's tears don't get looked at the same. So
not at all. I learned that the hard way. I had one of them take me down with them tears.
Wow.
And it's no comeback from that. There's no comeback from that. At least there wasn't for me.
Did you know that whole Black Wall Street Tulsa massacre happened over crocodile fake tears of?
I did know that.
Yeah. So
but break it down because not everybody does.
Well, it all started in the courthouse room elevator. It was a young black guy, and the elevator jolted, and he bumped into a white woman, and the white woman said that he felt her up or whatever, touched her inappropriately, and told some white guys, and they went to the town and tried to fight the young black guy, and the black people was like, oh hell no, and they went back to Oklahoma and trying to fight, and then they retaliated with government assistance.
Right, and by that we mean bombing from the air. But the thing is, I believe that was also part of that was an excuse because there was so much jealousy about that black well. And then I had read that there was some thought that they actually were dating or something.
Oh wow!
That they had some kind of relationship.
See.
And so many times, especially back then, the white women they didn't want to get in trouble for dating the guy, so then they would lie. I don't know this guy. He just bumped into me.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I seem to remember. There was some other shenanigan aspect to it.
About self-preservation.
Right.
Be careful, y'all, out there with money and status. There's going to be people of all sorts that are going to be coming to you like, bees to honey. And you got to be careful and watch your back and surround yourself and don't be saying something stupid on tape, and just behave in a respectable manner. Treat people good,
or at least be careful if you want to be wilding out. Because I got to say this too, and I said it when the whole Diddy thing blew up. It's not against the law to be freaky.
No,
if he's consensual, he is allowed to do freaky things.
Right.
If both people agree, he can choke people and slap people. And if she looks 15 but she's really not, that's their business. Even if you're old, you're allowed to be freaky. And so I think there's an ageist piece to this that I don't like. I think there's I don't know if it's with Diddy and others. There's a homophobia piece that I don't like. It is not against the law to be a freak. It's not against the law to buy baby oil. I don't want to hear your sex life streamed on Instagram, but I guess I could just turn it off.
Right.
I think there's a puritanical thing that we get into that's not constructive. People have a right to be freaky and get their thing off, but how stupid are you? Why would you? This, like you just said, Sherri, this person is an OnlyFans. Their job is to make money off sex.
I think.
Why would you text something? Why would you? If it was a setup, you was a easy mark.
Consent. That's the thing that gets people in trouble. Like, you could be freaky and all that good stuff, but when there's an issue of like non-consensual interactions,
right,
that's what people get in trouble. So if you want to really protect yourself and you're gonna engage in something, you got to make sure that the consent is lifted up first and foremost, because that's why this guy is in trouble right now. Like, if he was stupid, like, I would have responded to that text if I didn't do anything. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't do anything to you.
I mean, you're supposed to do that even if you did something. I mean, if I was your lawyer, which I'm not, a text, how many cases have we seen where the text is in the news story?
Right.
The text is on CNN as a quote that they wrote out and put up on the screen.
Yeah.
Yes, Tanya, you're right. She says he's accused of sexual battery. That's different than being freaky. But what I'm talking about is the way people are responding on social media. And they're calling him out for being an old pervert. E.C. Courtney says Shay Shay is one true dude. He will survive. Yeah.
I think the key too is, like, while he's going through this, and hopefully some counter truths will come out. But I think when people go away too long, like when they hide too long, it's not good for their career. So hopefully this can be like worked through soon, because if he does want a shot at reclaiming his popularity, or if he's deserving of it, right? And for him.
And to Tanya's point, I'm not trying to play down the sexual battery. I guess in my gut, I don't believe it. I know we're supposed to believe victims. And I say trust and verify. I need an investigation. I don't know. I haven't listened closely to all of the tapes and texts. Maybe I should, but it's harder to believe that a 19 or 20-year-old, whoever she was, whose job is to make money off sex, sex worker, not that a sex worker can't be raped, who he met in the gym. And it's just hard for me to believe that happened, but it might have happened. And if it did, he should be accountable. Also, she says he raped her in September and then again in January. So that means he raped her and they kept dating and then he raped her again.
I mean,
or
that
dating.
happens.
I don't know if it's dating.
That happens when married people, married people
yeah, that's
do it.
true.
But I think that the thing is that we should not be quick to let the details play out. It's up to the civil jury, because it's a civil suit, to really take a look at all the facts and make a decision. Did he do it? Did he not do it? We don't know. And that's how we should treat it. We don't know.
You're right. You're right. We don't know. And that's why, trust and verify. Believe victims, but don't Al Franken people either. Make sure that there's an actual investigation and due process.
Right. There's many people in jail who didn't do stuff, and then they serve many, many years and get a few $1 million for their trouble, so all that.
Prester John says Shannon needs to seek relationship counseling with Reverend X.
Who is that?
I don't know. But maybe he meant, no, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, there's probably a number of minister exes that he could go to.
It's so funny because his life, most of his dating life has been in the dark, right? Like we haven't really seen him out with anybody.
Yeah.
And so for this,
I always thought he was gay, but that was just an assumption that I made.
Whatever the case may be, this is not a good look. It's very unfortunate because he was a very popular podcaster that platformed a lot of people, even though he was messy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that part. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. I'm Dominique DiPrima. She's Sherri Bell, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Black New York Attorney General Letitia James hires defense attorney Abby Lowell to fight mortgage fraud allegations by the Trump administration, claiming she falsified records for favorable home loans. Lowell says the allegations are, quote, long disproven. President Trump says he has a great relationship with Chinese President Xi and believes the tariff issue will be resolved. He refuted reports of China calling tariff talks fake news, noting China's significant role in global trade. A Maryland judge ordered the White House to facilitate the return of a second Venezuelan migrant, only known as Christian, deported despite a class action settlement. The Trump administration argued his deportation under the Alien Enemies Act superseded his asylum claim. And Ryan Coogler's Sinners is hoping to take a second bite out of the box office this weekend. The vampire thriller is expected to make between $25 and $30 million in its second weekend. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome to the newly renovated Toyota of Carson. We want to say yes to every offer.
During our tax time sales event, get 0 down payment options, plus rates as low as 1.99%. Then receive an additional $1,000 trade-in bonus.
Toyota of Carson.
Is this the title? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers treated a sellout crowd at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood to a dominant performance last night in the NBA playoffs. They put a beat down on the Denver Nuggets with a 117-83 win to take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 first-round series. Another solid game for Kawhi Leonard, 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. James Harden and Norman Powell dropped 20 points each. Game 4 is Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Intuit Dome. The Lakers are in Minneapolis tonight for Game 3 of their first-round series with the Timberwolves, 6:30 tip-off on ESPN. It was a tough night Thursday for Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Deion's son has been the most talked-about prospect leading up to the NFL draft, but all 32 teams passed on him in the first round. Sanders will have to wait for today's second round to hear his name called. The draft resumes today at 4 p.m. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
When the flames subside, who ensures that the stories endure? At KBLA Talk 1580, we're committed to preserving the voices that shape our community. We know people have short memories, and as long as this Black Talk radio station is on the air, we will not let Altadena be forgotten. We are honored to announce that the Altadena Historical Society will officially archive our recent town hall, alongside every episode of Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr. This is the show of record, the definitive source for tracking Altadena's roots, resilience, recovery, and reunion. These stories will now live on for students, scholars, researchers, and journalists seeking truth and legacy in the months and years to come. Because history isn't just made, it's honored, it's recorded, and it's passed forward. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580 and the California Black Chamber of Commerce invite you to the Small Business Development Workshop, How to Do Business with California Government, on Thursday, May 15th at Victory Park in Pasadena, 2575 Paloma Street. Get certified and register as a new bidder. Sell products and services to the state. Learn about pre-bid events and more, and it's all free. All you have to do is sign up at www.calbcc.org. That's www.calbcc.org. Registration for the Small Business Development Workshop, How to Do Business with California Government, begins at 9 a.m. and the workshop concludes at 1 p.m. on Thursday, May 15th at Victory Park in Pasadena, 2575 Paloma Street. This is a community call to action from the California Black Chamber of Commerce and KBLA Talk 1580.
You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Who among us doesn't like black music? But Kendrick is right. This moment is so much bigger than music. These are serious times. We've got serious problems, and we need serious people who understand that slogans are not solutions. When you want substantial and sober analysis about things that matter to you and the ones you love, this is where you turn. We're KBLA Talk 1580. And we've got your black. Baby. Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right. We can talk a messy mess all day and cautionary tales about black people, sex, May-December relationships.
I think
as
we
they
got
call
it out
them.
our system.
Woo, woosah. But, if you guys want to call, you're welcome. But there's so much going on in California. Mayor Bass is on her way, or she's actually, she's on her way to Sacramento to try to get some money. Mm-hmm. She was there Wednesday. She was lobbying for a couple billion to get us so we don't have to have city layoffs.
Right.
So we can close this budget gap.
Yes, go get that money, Karen. No, but
here's the thing. I mean, that budget gap, it can be attributed to raises partly to raises that the mayor gave. She gave all the city union workers raises, and she gave a huge raise to the cops.
Right. Yeah, and that's, there's going to be an action that's going to be on the 28th, which is next week, at City Hall at 4:00. And basically a lot of the labor unions are going to stand up, right? Because we know that power comes in the form of money or people. And like the people are showing up to resist these layoffs because we know that these layoffs are going to contribute to a lot more problems that the city has to deal with, such as houselessness, such as,
But what do you think about, some of the unions standing down and delaying raises? What do you think about that as opposed to layoffs?
Right. So I think some folks in the labor space feels like if the police are not going to pause their raises, then working class people shouldn't pause theirs. Right. So if the pausing of raises is going to be something like a tactic to prevent layoffs or decrease our burden as far as the deficit, then it should be across the board. The feeling is that LA should not be balancing their budget off the backs of working class people.
I mean, and there's another factor, which is these liabilities, these lawsuits. I mean, the lawsuits are. I don't know. It's between 200 and 300 million,
right?
For the current fiscal year. That's if we're $1 billion in the hole. That's somewhere between a quarter and a third of the problem. Stop killing people. Stop abusing people. Stop. And some of it, I guess they're accidents.
Right,
and sanitation. I don't know what the sanitation lawsuits are. They got a chunk, but the hugest chunk is LAPD use of force.
Right, and
stop it. Why doesn't that come out of their budget?
That's what I was saying. So, there's been some talks about some legislation that it should come out of their budget or the pension of the person, or that did the crime, because it's like. What kind of deterrent do you have for reckless policing? There's a lot of policies within the police department that could be fixed that will decrease the amount of accidents they be having when they be chasing people or the use of deadly force. They could fix those things, but what pressure do they have if they just going to keep getting raises and their budget's not going to
And whenever they kill someone or beat them up or mangle and, mutilate them for life, that individual officer doesn't have to pay part of the payout.
Right.
I feel like they, if something was coming out of my check, I would be a little more mindful. And Morris is right. Morris Phillips says qualified immunity will break the city's budget. Yeah, that's the made up legal doctrine that, protects, shields many law enforcement officers from accountability.
They need their own insurance because
malpractice insurance.
Yeah, because Karen Bass said, the city of LA doesn't have insurance, so we just put money away in a little pot.
Apparently, it's all cities don't have it.
Okay, well,
it's not just LA. And LA. Okay, so this other story I wanted to touch on, that California has passed up Japan, and we're now the 4th largest economy in the world after the United States, Germany, and I can't remember what the other one is. China.
Okay, well,
so only China, Germany, and the U.S., of which California is a part, are bigger generators of economic success than California. So all this talk about California is going downhill, California, everyone's leaving, blah, blah, blah. Wrong. Not true.
As they want you to think. See, now, if we're in this good financial position, we should be able to get a loan or a bond or something. If we in that of an economic powerhouse, right? The wealthiest people, however the wealth is, amassed, it should be some mechanism where the state or the city should be able to get some money to stop layoffs. And
that's why Newsom needs to come on with the, with the bag, because honestly, it's just like the red state, blue state. We've got red county, blue county. LA pays for a lot of this doggone state.
Right.
We pay for all of y'all folks that voted for Trump. So we need some of our money back right now.
Yeah.
And Prester John says, no one would insure the LAPD like no one. And I think that's right. Yeah, because it's not a good risk.
Well, they need something, because the amount of risk, that they impose on our budget each year is crazy.
Yeah, the amount we pay out of our pockets. I'd love to see that calculation.
Something's got to change.
If we paying out 300 million in a year for liability, what does that come out to for every Angelino?
How are you what's the repercussions, consequences and repercussions? That this should be something that illuminates a need for change. And I know that a lot of the thing is wealthy people want their property protected. That's what the police are.
Okay, so get
for.
Security then.
Right.
Buy private security. We've seen, it's possible Rick Caruso got private security and a private firefighter. So, a fire department, get what you get. If you got what you got. Why do we, the public, have to pay for all the Karens to have private security and all the rich people to have private security? They should get private security for that.
And if you don't want crime, address the root causes of the crime. Create better jobs for people, more opportunities, more diversions and rehabilitation.
The thing, and that's what we said we were doing. That's what we have done. We've done more than most, but I just feel like the reason Newsom is talking so much about this, and he's right, other than the fact that he's governor, so he can say, I have the fourth economy in the world. Elect me president. But the other thing is because the tariffs could really take a bite out of this, because one of the economic drivers is the ports and the logistics that we do in LA. It's the entertainment business, it's real estate, it's tech, and it's these ports.
Ports, huge.
So if you impose the tariffs, that could take a bite out of not just the United States as a whole, but California for sure.
Yeah, it's like problems are being created.
Yeah,
the economy was not in a horrible spot,
actually it was doing pretty good other than the inflation, right?
So it's not like the Great Depression where problems kind of blindsided, or like the housing crisis of 2008. And by the way, I was thinking about this today. Some people have lived through probably at least 4 or 5 of these recession types of things, in their lifetime, and I was just thinking about how we can learn from the past, but this is not that. This is called creating something.
Right. This is called shoot yourself in the foot. Yeah. That's what this is called. It's called it's the Bone Spur president shooting himself in the foot, and we all get shot along with him. Yeah. And what I didn't realize is that usually the leadership in the Senate and the state Senate and the Assembly is from SoCal, but not right now. You've got the leader of the Senate is from Healdsburg, and the leader of the speaker is from Hollister.
Is Rivas one of those
people?
Robert
Rivas. He's from Hollister. He's a speaker. And then you've got the Senate Pro Tem Mike McGuire from Healdsburg. Usually we got somebody from SoCal.
Yeah, that's from agriculture.
Right now, it's all the people we pay for. Because LA is the sugar daddy for the state.
Well, they need to realize who their sugar daddy is and look out for us.
Never works out that way. Just like the blue states are the sugar daddies for the reds, to sugar mamas for the red state. And do we get any respect for those dollars? We might as well be Shannon Sharp. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. Am I on one today? I don't know. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
This is Stevie Wonder, calling on Los Angeles property owners to help get unhoused veterans off the street. If you're a property owner or know someone who is, consider accepting veteran housing vouchers. You will receive guaranteed rent while providing a stable and safe home. Help end veteran homelessness and make a real difference in people's lives.
Learn more by emailing houseourvets@lacity.org.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, Sherri Bell, you want to do a speed round? You down for that? I'm going to throw some stories your way and just get your take. And I'm going to do a little bit of shutting up because I want to hear what Sherri has to say. Former LA City Council member Kevin DeLeon, remember him? He's facing almost $20,000 in ethics fines for voting on city council decisions, which he had a financial interest in and failing to disclose. If I remember correctly, they're trying to put Curran Price in jail for that, but apparently they're just going to give Kevin a slappy slap on the wrist.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. A slap on the wrist, huh?
Well, I mean, $20,000, maybe not a slap on the wrist, but it ain't going to jail.
Yeah, exactly. What is that about? And I want to know more about what he voted on and how he had a financial interest in it.
Yeah, well, it says he voted on 3 city council issues that benefited the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, which is a rather shady organization, and one that helped USC after less than a year after he made money from each of those places. So,
well, there we go.
Against the law.
Pretty straightforward.
Congresswoman Barbara Lee is now mayor-elect of Oakland.
That's really good because, you think about, people who be in these big political, races. And, I know that we wanted her to be where Alex Padilla is, right? We wanted her to be the senator, but that didn't pan out for her. But she, found another way to stay active and, make a difference. And
she was recruited.
Be in the game.
I mean, because Oakland is struggling right now. She was recruited. So, yeah, congratulations to her.
I'm excited for Oakland because they're dealing with a lot right now, in terms of gentrification and resources not there and contributing to crime rate. So hopefully she could turn it around for the people who, been down with Oakland for a minute.
Yeah, and it's also another sign that progressives are not dead.
Hello.
And even though y'all want to attack, oops, I said I was going to shut up. Okay, it's just habit. Progressives are not dead, and black women are going to keep rising no matter how many of us you knock down.
That's right.
LA Metro saying they will open their transit service to the airport in 2028. No, officially open to the public June 6th. Okay.
We got to see how
I thought
far
it was 2028. Yeah, it's on the K and C lines, which means it was right by us over here in Leimert Park. That's a good thing. It will connect to the People Mover, which doesn't open until next year. That's why I said 2028.
Right.
Yeah, because you can take the train, but you're going to get to something
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as of right now, this Crenshaw line don't go nowhere, do it? So hopefully.
Well, you can go up and down Crenshaw. There's something to be said for that if you don't have a car. But
like everything that was meant to take you to the airport stops very shy of getting there. So
I think maybe hopefully, yeah, okay. Hopefully when they get it there, it'll hurry up the People Mover because we got the World Cup coming
right
in next year.
Yes, and everywhere else has them. all these other airports got these people movers, and so I'm happy that we're finally getting one. It's gonna make travel a lot easier, where you don't have to take an Uber, and deal with all that nightmarish traffic getting in and out the airport. So good, that's great news.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah, we need it. Our airport is a hot mess too. I keep hearing it's going to get better, but waiting. Apparently, this guy, Elijah Arenas, who was committed to USC, he has crashed his Tesla Cybertruck, and he's now in a medically induced coma. Young, future star.
Right.
Really, really sad news. And he's the son of the former NBA athlete Gilbert Arenas. So
yeah,
this is really sad news.
Oh yeah, it is sad news. I'm praying for him to have a full recovery and get back to what he loves. His mother is Laura Govan, who's the sister of Gloria, and she's married to Derek Fisher, and they was both on Basketball Wives of LA.
Okay.
But I heard that he might be having a good news on his side and making a full recovery. So hopefully that would be the case. And seemed like a very dedicated young man, like works out.
Adorable.
Yeah.
He's an adorable young man. And here's the thing, to your point, Sherri, no major bodily injuries, but he inhaled a lot of smoke from that burning Cybertruck.
Lungs.
So hopefully, the fact that he didn't have any bodily injuries, he won't have any other brain damage or anything.
Absolutely. Praying for that young man. And watch out for them Cybertrucks, y'all, because they be blowing up, okay?
Plus, they're hella ugly.
And made by a ugly, acting, horrible, no, I'm just playing. Person. No,
right. The profit line is problematic for sure. Luigi Mangione, the CEO killer, is going to appear in court today, pleading not guilty. But his, I'm expecting them to put him under the jail.
It's kind of crazy with that, because you look at people who attempted to assassinate the president or even assassinated the president, they didn't get death penalty.
That's true. The Reagan shooter, whatever.
The Reagan shooter,
John Wayne,
the person who
whatever
killed
his name was.
JFK, not JFK, but RFK, Sirhan, those people didn't get put to death. And I find it weird that this is federal, this is Trump. Trump's a retaliator.
And not only that, it shows you our priorities. I mean, he killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, allegedly, on December 4th last year. But, that's a CEO. They're not going to just let people start bumping off CEOs.
And
I'm not saying they should, but I'm just saying that they're not going to.
Right. No, don't get me wrong. It's a horrible thing that happened, despite his motives, being something that people are, can empathize with.
Yeah. Which we need to kill is the health insurance industry and get some universal health care. That's what we need to kill.
Right. It just appears that the seeking the death penalty is purely politically motivated, because they probably view Luigi's actions as an attack on corporate America, right? So they want to punish anybody who tries to go after, the big pharma and their, detrimental acts to people's everyday lives, right? You go after us in any kind of way, we're going to make sure you pay. I think that's pretty much what they're doing right now.
Yeah, they're making an example out of him.
Yeah.
Wow. And so I think you're right. They're going to throw the book at him. Kobe Bryant's debut jersey sold for $7 million.
Whoa.
Dang, homie. That's a lot of money. Yeah. So, and Molly Bell in the chat says, what about those Lakers? What about those Clippers? Do you have a dog in this fight? Do you follow sports?
Not like that, but I am more of a Lakers fan than a Clippers fan. But I'm LA. The if it was the Lakers and the Clippers against anybody else, I would go for either one of those teams.
Yeah,
so,
I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, it's right now, obviously, playoffs. Minnesota versus the Lakers, and yeah. So for me, it's always going to be Lakers. I'm sorry to all my friends who are Clipper fans. Well, I think there's one or two.
Uh-oh. Oh, don't start nothing now.
1 or 2. Well, I didn't start it. Shoot.
They out here listening.
Why do we have 2 LA
basketball teams
in
such a close proximity?
And do we have, how many LA football teams do we have? Are the Chargers an LA football team?
Oh, we have 2 in LA, but California has, a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, LA is not that big, right? To be having like 2 and 2.
I mean, some people still think the Raiders are an LA team, so
or the Angels. No.
Okay, now we're in baseball, right? The Angels. Yeah. Sherri, I know that these are crazy times. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who came out to the Hawthorne Business Expo yesterday. It was also a job fair. It was nice turnout, really great panels. But I also know that you continue to seek better employment, better jobs for Black people with your work through the LA Black Workers Center. So talk a little bit about that. Let's end on an upbeat note here.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to fight, for people who have been historically pushed out of jobs, right? Ever since we've been freed as slaves, there's been like an intentional effort to keep us out of the job market, and we have to resist against that. We will always lift up where we see exclusion and discrimination and trying to build pathways and raise the question, where are the Black workers? So the statistics speaks for themselves. So if you ever I want to shout out the great staff there, Jeremiah Gordon, Trita Traylor, Greg Lewis, really working hard there to advocate for policies that gonna trying to get Metro on board, to open up opportunities. There's going to be a lot of building, a lot of things going on. And we want to make sure that people that, don't have any connections, don't know where to go or how to get into like good, stable employment can have a way. Now, we're not primarily like a workforce development agency, but we have partnered with employers. Our main goal is to create the power, build the power that is going to be able to have us taken into account as a group of community members and workers that are advocating for representation and access.
LABlackWorkersCenter.org. You can find Sherri at Sherri De La Ghetto on Instagram. You can find me at DiPrima Radio. You can find this place over here at KBLA 1580, Miles Low Music.
Yep.
We're all out there.
We all out there.
Sherri, thank you so much, as always, for coming in and sharing your wisdom with us.
Appreciate you, Dominique. Appreciate everybody out there listening, weighing in, and all that.
Yes, superstar Kevin Powell joins us for our Freedman Friday conversation.
Real world, right?
Going way back.
Oh my God.
And of course, Maya Jupiter in hour 3. We got a lot going on around here today. Yay, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Black New York Attorney General Letitia James hires defense attorney Abby Lowell to fight mortgage fraud allegations by the Trump administration, claiming she falsified records for favorable home loans. Lowell says the allegations are, quote, long disproven. President Trump says he has a great relationship with Chinese President Xi and believes the tariff issue will be resolved. He refuted reports of China calling tariff talks fake news, noting China's significant role in global trade. A Maryland judge ordered the White House to facilitate the return of a second Venezuelan migrant, only known as Christian, deported despite a class action settlement. The Trump administration argued his deportation under the Alien Enemies Act superseded his asylum claim. And Ryan Coogler's Sinners is hoping to take a second bite out of the box office this weekend. The vampire thriller is expected to make between
Get 0 down payment options, plus rates as low as 1.99%, then receive an additional